Hello guys, so this is a pre-market analysis of 13th of July. So we are going to get a big gap down, almost 200 points, close to 200 points, and Nifty will be opening close to 24,000, which is a support level. So we may expect a gap down at around 24,000, 20, 30, 24,000, 10, around 24,000 level. So if it is slightly above 24,000, that should act as a support immediately. And if it is breaking 24,000, we just need to watch the first candle, but we are not going to chase it because these days the most important moves are actually happening with that first candle or the gap down or gap up itself, and after that the tendency is that the market is trying to consolidate because already the premium is very less. So when you see such kind of expansion on the gap down or gap up itself, now the sellers have to adjust by selling more puts. So what will happen is naturally, this inflated put premiums will come down again. That means market may slightly go upside, or it may go sideways. So the best scenario will be, again, you don't want to chase it. Even if you chase it, you may be in trap also. So it's always better to wait for a retracement, and again, sell on rise is the best scenario. So more than discussing the levels, in fact, last day FIAs were also net buyers, 2,300 crores they bought. Previously also, when there was an up move, they bought, and then we have seen next day they sold also. Now here it will be interesting how the market is going to react with respect to all these development today. So let's look at what is the developments in the Middle East. That is very important, and then I'll tell you what are the levels and where you can execute the trades and everything. And one day before expiry, so I'm not looking for some big moves here and there. I'm looking for market to, even if there is a big gap down, market want that gap down to be controlled by selling more puts, or going long from 24,000 level. So 24,000 may be defended if their liquidity sweep happens, and if that is breaking, and then that's where you may get a move heavily, but not like what you got on the previous day where 24,000 is broken, straight away they came to 23,800. So now the market is in a very tight range of 23,800 support and 24,200 resistance, right? Last week we have seen that is breaking and went till 24,500, but still market is not able to close 24,200 on the last day. But Friday was looking good, but still it couldn't do that. So let's look at the developments which happened. So those who are looking for what we can expect, gap down, what we need to do, I think this part is covered. Now I'll talk about the fundamentals, what is actually happening with respect to the war, what are the negotiations which are going on. So see, Friday the situation was totally different. We had a lot of positivity, and buy on dip is what we have discussed, because there was a big negativity and followed by some positivity also. So Trump said Iran requested continuation of negotiation, and the US agreed to continue talks. And the response of Iran is Iran completely denied directly, that they requested negotiation, and said that only agreed to receive Qatar mediators. That's what Iran's response. Now there are some new US condition which has been given to Iran, that the US have asked Iran to publicly confirm that all shipping lanes through the Strait of Hormuz must remain open, and Iran must stop attacking any commercial vehicles, and ships should be allowed to pass, without paying any tolls. And the US also want that any further attack on any commercial ships, that would trigger a military response. And US officials have also claimed that Iran has privately suggested that the recent attack on ships were carried out by a rogue faction within the Iranian system, and Iranian government as such is not attacked. So according to US, some elements inside Iran do not support the deal. That's what US officials have claimed. Now, apart from that, what developments happened at the diplomatic level on Friday? Iranian foreign minister was scheduled to travel to Oman, and markets basically expected Oman and Qatar to help kind of to create a mediation to this diplomatic, or create a diplomatic solution. And there was an optimism, and we have seen the crude prices have came down compared to the last day. And WTI, if you see Friday at the time of closing, it's around 71, and Brent was around 76. And because of that positivism, Dow also did well, 0.29 positive, Nasdaq also 0.3 positive, S&P also 0.42 perspective positive, and VIX have fallen 5% and came to 15. So the fear almost have moved from the system. But Saturday, again, In this Oman talks, right? Foreign minister met Iranian foreign minister met Oman foreign minister, and there were discussions, and that is actually basically focusing on the freedom of navigation, shipping arrangements, and the Iran's demand for a greater role in controlling vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. Qatar was also expected to participate, and then there was some escalation. During the night, Iran attacked a Cyprus flagged ship at Strait of Hormuz, and Iran described it as a warning shot. So the ship suffered significant damage also, and US responded. The Central Command of US have told that it struck around 140 Iranian military targets, including the fighter aircraft sites, and the drone strikes, and also naval strikes. So different strikes in different region, right? Aircraft strike was there, drone strike was there, naval strike was there, but not clear about which all areas. And Sunday, again, there is escalation that Iran retaliated. Iran launched missiles and drone towards US linked facilities in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Oman, UAE. And Oman formally protested and summoned the Iranian ambassador. And this is very important because Oman has been acting as one of the key mediators, but Iran attacked US establishments in Oman. Now, coming to Strait of Hormuz, Iran also announced that passage through the Strait of Hormuz is currently impossible due to what is called illegal US military activity, and the shipping permits will resume once there is a stability. And US rejected this announcement of Iran, and according to US, Iran has no authority to close the strait, and commercial shipping should continue normally. And Trump also stated in an NBC interview that strait remains open. Now, because of all these developments, now if you see, oil increased around 3.5%, WTI is around 74, and Brent is around 79. US futures is trading negative. GIFT Nifty 24,200 is where it closed, but now it is showing 2420 levels, 24,040, which means close to 150-point gap down is what we can expect. Any further increase in fuel, crude oil price can worsen the agreement. Okay, now institutional activity. Last I discussed FIIs bought for 2,600 crores. DIA is also bought for 2,000 crore last day, Friday. So total institutional buying is around 4,600. Now, if you look at options data, call open interest 2.5% unwinding, put open interest 26.5 unwinding, which means positive. So PCR have turned positive. Now today, exact opposite will happen. Right now, today you will be able to see more put open interest. Initially, because of the gap down, they may try to cover the position, but one round of defense will be happening at 24,000 as it is opening at 24,000. And if that level is breaking, then again, you will see further down move, right? So participant positioning also, if you see clients 16% bullish, FIA is around 16% bearish, prop traders mostly neutral. So there are negatives, there are positives, right? Ships traffic, the Strait of Hormuz have came down and it's nearly zero. Oil price have now moved close to 80, which was 70 last week. US futures are trading negative. Overall global sentiment also turned negative. The escalation is there, so these are negatives. So you keep monitoring the oil price and Indian rupee. That's what we can discuss. There is nothing much. To look at the positive side, only positive that I see is that is on Friday, FIAs and DAs both bought for 4,600 crore. But how that will impact today, FIAs, we cannot rely. They'll buy on one day, next day they are selling. That's how the trend that we have seen, right? So last day, Nifty closed around 24,200. Now the 200 point is going to be taken out and is going to be at 24,000. So it's going to be any bounce will be sold off. That's what I'm expecting. But normally these scenarios, when you get such a big gap down, that is actually bought into also. But when you get a bounce, that will be an opportunity to sell. So important resistance will be at 24,200. It's opening at the support level 24,000. If that break, then 23,800 is the next major support. So watch all these levels and trade very carefully, trade responsibly. And if you would like to learn this and trade with us, to join our community where we trade live and we teach through our live trading, where you can see all our live trading, you can talk to our teams and you can join the community. And you can trade with us. So see you guys. Thank you.